actually, another term that I hear a lot in Native traditions is personal medicine, and you certainly talk
Mm.
about that in your book. You actually mentioned that the war that you experienced, the stress, the intergenerational trauma, you were able to turn that into medicine in your life. So tell us, firstly, what do you mean by personal medicine, and how were you able to do that?
So each one, and this is again through the lens of Andean philosophy. And yes, but there's also a lot of components from other ancestral traditions that coincides with that. We all come with our. I don't like to use the word purpose because purpose it feels like you have to continue doing something. You always have to achieve something. It's like, oh, my purpose is to. I reframe that with the idea of a vocation, right? So we all come with a gift. We all come to this world in this material body, in this tangible expression of nature for a reason. We all have something that is, it have to be used to complete the cycle of reciprocity that we mentioned. When I understood that facing my own difficulties and my own struggles, that opened a different level of understanding on how my strength can be at service not only for me, but for those who are in my inner circle. And that is my vocation now.
Yes.
when I when I understood that I can listen to the wind.
Mm.
When I hear the message of the wind, it's not that I'm going to different it's not like I'm going to different
I'm
places.
picturing
For
Pocahontas right now. You know that scene where she's at the top of the cliff and she's just closing her eyes, and it's actually one of my favorite scenes in all Disney
oh
movies.
good.
Yeah, because it's so deeply spiritual. But yeah, continue.
What a comparison, and I appreciate it, and I pay respect to those who are from the lineage of Pocahontas. That is beautiful that we can actually that there, again there are many ways that this
Mm.
type of knowledge or medicine
Mm.
is all around us. So the medicine come in different ways. Uh, each one of us have our own way of moving into this cycle of reciprocity. And here comes the important part that I feel that is the medicine for the world that we're living today, period. And it is that when I accepted my medicine, and when I accepted that I do have my vocation have to be in practice, I knew that this is not something that is for me only. It's not an individual wellness. It's not an individual healing. It's not just me, 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 me. This is a collective piece of information. Because my vocation and my way of approaching the gift that I receive from the Creator is it will only continue going when I put it into practice and when I use it for the support of my village, of my, in this case, if we would have been in the mountains, it would be for your own little village, right? But here is for in modern societies, it's for your inner circle, and then it's your family, and then it's so on and so on and so on. So I accepted that my medicine is the ability to call the wind, to receive the message for the winds, and to be able to see what beyond what the human eye can see, and showing the way back to what is I call the Nuna, which is the term for a term in Quechua. There's also known as the anima or the spirit or energy, right? So I support others to bring their Nuna back to them through the wind. So in my personal experience, when I felt emotional fragmented for many ways and many reasons, the wind, and it was through my breath, because I didn't know there was a wind before. I used my breath first. It was like, oh, breathing feels so, like breathing consciously feels so good for me and for my soul. And then I took one step further and one step further to realize that the wind is the element that brings me, give me the possibilities to fulfill my vocation.
That's beautiful. So what I'm hearing is what really gives weight to one's purpose or vocation, as you like to call it, is when it somehow contributes to people around you, whether that's your community or whether even the world, if you're helping people out, when you have a platform online, you certainly can reach all parts of the world. And I think that's really, really important to keep in mind because we are living in a me culture right now with influencers and, you know, and we can lose sight of that the importance of giving back and taking our place in this web, this community web
Yeah.
that we belong to.
Yeah, and also to make sure that we understand that this is from a lived experience. This is not something that you can, I mean, good, the books are there to support you, but it will take you far. This is something that you have to do, like really do
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
This is a
The way of
practice.
living.
It's a way of living,
Yeah.
precisely. And you have cultural memory too. I cannot detach from that. I can't. In the ways that sometimes pieces of knowledge, pieces of knowledge from other traditions are taking away the cultural memory, that is not serving anybody. Because it will only it will give you half of the medicine, if anything. It give you only half of it. You want
Tell
the
us more
full
about that.
dose.
Tell us more about that. You're talking about the influence. You do talk about the influence of colonialism and Eurocentric culture and how that is kind of diminishing the indigenous knowledge and wisdom you've accumulated over the years. Can we speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I want to make sure that I'm
Yeah, I
and
know it's
this
a
is
sensitive
my
topic. So yeah.
which is okay.
I
Which
mean,
is
good.
okay. I don't
Yeah,
which is fine. I love to talk about it, but I want to make sure that it comes as a personal experience.
sure. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
This is a living experience
Mm-hmm.
and personal opinion as well. I do believe that we have to be very careful when we touch, when we work, when we take pieces of knowledge from ancestral wisdom that have been kept a secret for centuries, and now they start coming up for many reasons. If we get into this collection or reconnection with this indigenous wisdoms or medicine, we have to be 100% sure that we're not taking away the cultural memory of these wisdoms. Because that wisdom in itself, the medicine in itself, you cannot detach from the fragmentation that this wisdom already had. Meaning that it went through systems of oppression for many years. It went through systems of that did some of those people who still carry this type of medicine, they went through so much like negative events. And the medicine in itself carries that portion. I call that the spiritual DNA. I cannot detach from that. I can't. So when I use only what my human Western mind can understand, I am taking only half of it. The idea is for us, if we are embracing this type of knowledge, to be able to accept the medicine, the full dose of the medicine, meaning that this is why it's important to understand what are we engaging with. Because you just don't go to a pieces of or taking medicine, which is a spiritual medicine from a place of the world, without even knowing what happened to the people that conserved this medicine for so long and now is finding its way to mainstream, which for me, that creates a huge problem too, because some of this medicine was meant to be kept a secret, because it was meant to be part of in a small community and kept it in small batches, if anything. And I'm talking more as a medicine that you can take and so on. So we have to be very careful when not to detach from the cultural memory that this type of medicine carries, and and be vigilant to do the integration of what happened with that and how is it going to support me in the future.
So I appreciate that. So not forgetting the history and the people who created all this knowledge and honoring them and everything that they have been through.
Yeah, exactly.